Hey guys, this is Bia here, and today we're back with another video. So today's video is going to be about what materials you will need in order to get started in either being a fashion designer or just learning how to do pattern cutting, or even just before you start your fashion design course. So these are materials which will be essential for your learning and for your development and for you to do your work at all. So if you guys don't know what you need, just keep watching this video and I'll tell you all about them. So I'm going to divide this video into 3 different sections. One of them is going to be the materials that you'll need to do the pattern cutting. The second one will be what you'll need in order to draw and to design and illustrate. And the third thing I'm going to tell you guys about is the books that you might need. Now, in terms of the books, I won't go into a lot of detail. I'll just give you guys some recommendations of books that I have used and books that you guys might want to use for yourselves. These were books that were very useful and they benefited me in different ways, so I'm just gonna let you guys know what I have. Before we get started, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and leave a like on this video for the YouTube algorithm to hopefully push this video out to the masses and to help other people like you'll hopefully help you. So I make these videos in order to help you guys, just like I wish I had someone to help me when I was trying to study fashion design, when I was studying textiles at school, and on YouTube there was barely anyone who was giving advice, and I feel like someone out there should be giving you the proper advice and to let you know everything that you need before you get started. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started with this video. I have all my tools here so that I can let you guys know what you need. So these are basically what I use every single time I make a pattern, and making patterns are very important because that is the basics of how to make clothes. And if you're going to be a fashion designer or make any type of costume or clothes, then you have to know how to do it and you have to have the tools for it. So the first thing that you guys need, I'm just going to do this one by one, is one of these. And this is basically something that you can do for yourself, or you can just print it out, or you can buy it. This is a trouser pattern, for example. I have trouser patterns, I have tops, I have, well, now I've increased it because I made gloves, I made all kinds of things. So we have patterns of all shapes and sizes, and we have patterns for the sleeve, for the front, for the back, for the trousers, for the skirts, for what else? You can even have color patterns, you can have pocket patterns, gloves, so on and so forth. So you can have the large ones, which would be ideally your size or the size of someone who you're making it for, or, well, you'll probably have to have that, but you can also have something which is a smaller scale of the big one for experimentation. So if you've watched my video on how to move a dart, you would know that I used this small one to make the experiment. So this would have been the new dart which I moved, which you guys can see on the video. If you don't know how to move darts, then that's something for you to see. The next thing you're obviously going to need is some measuring tape, because it's very important that when you're doing any sort of pattern development, you measure things to the very millimeter, because that's really, really important, especially if you're making things that will fit, that are not so stretchy and that have to be really fitting to someone. Then this is extremely important. Because when measuring, you need to measure a person, you need to measure the paper, and doing it with the ruler will be so much more difficult. So obviously get one of these. Next thing you guys need is the pins. Now I use 2 different types of pins. I use small ones, which are like this, if you guys can see the difference with my hand, and then I have a slightly bigger one, which is this one, so you guys can tell the difference. It's thicker and it's much longer, you guys can see. Yeah. So these are used for different purposes depending on the thickness of the fabric or how much I'm trying to get at once. I will use the different types of pins. So that's another one. Also, you guys, I have this. I actually got this from Lidl and it was so super cheap, and it's where I keep all of my materials. I have a different place for my different color threads, but this is where I keep it. So the next things you guys will need is the tape, which will be useful for you guys to, obviously when you're doing moving darts and so on, it's very useful to have the different types of tapes. If you want something permanent, then just use a normal one. If you're trying to experiment with different things, then I would advise you guys use the masking tape. Next thing, which is actually something I should have told you in the beginning, is the pattern master. Now this is the base and this is what you need to do every single thing. This is important for you to do seam allowance and for you to make sure things are squared off and to make sure that things are parallel or perpendicular, and to make sure that the measurements are right and to have smooth curved lines, because it's very hard to keep doing this with your own hand to trace things off. It's just so important. So this is something that you guys need to definitely invest in. Next thing you will need is one of these, and I don't know if you guys can see on my table, but I ruined it with this one because I have no protection. So what would you would usually do is to maybe if you want to trace a garment for that specific size, or if you're trying to trace from one paper to another and you cannot fold or you can't do anything, you would go with this one and you leave holes, and then afterwards you would go with your pencil and trace off those same holes. Same thing applies with this one. You literally just use this to make holes, one, to move things around, and two, to be able to mark different places, such as darts and notches in your paper. So making holes through it is much easier with this than anything else. Next thing you guys would need is this one. This is very useful, and this is when you're sewing and you just want to snip things very easily and you don't need to use chunky scissors. You just do that and that's it. Back to the scissors, I forgot to tell you guys, you need to invest in a very good fabric scissors. So this one has lasted me a while. I actually bought it in a random store. So it was like £30 for this, and it's been very good. It has cut my fingers before, so it is quite sharp and it does cut through fabric like butter. And also I got this one here. This is for paper and it helps me out when I'm doing my pattern cutting. So scissors are very important. Make sure you have varieties for different purposes, and do not, I repeat, do not cut any paper using your fabric scissors, or else you're going to ruin it and the edge will be bland and it will not work properly. Next thing you guys need, which is very important, is obviously your needles and your threads. So when you're doing mock-ups and you're doing draping, you will definitely need to sew things in just temporarily. So having a thread on hand and having some different types of needles is very important. I'm pretty sure this was like £1 for these needles, so it's very good price for what I got. Everything that I have here, I will be leaving a link in the description for the different materials that some of them I did not get from Amazon, some of them I got from Amazon, but I will be leaving a link for each thing for what I found for the best price on Amazon, so you guys can just order it online if you guys want to. Next thing is the tailor's chalk. Now mine has been used and abused, and this is used for drawing on fabric. So imagine this is something that I am making. I will draw on it with this. Obviously I don't want to do too much, and obviously this is white on yellow. There's different colors. They usually sell them in blue, red, white, so obviously it depends on what you're using it on. So imagine this thing that I have here. If I try to draw on the blue, it'll probably stay on the blue. Can you guys see that line here? So it will stay very clearly, and when you wash the fabric, it'll just come off, which is the reason why this is used. So it's very easy to draw with, and it's very easy for it to come off once you're done with it. So last thing that I want to just mention when it comes to making clothes is the paper that you use. I already told you guys before, I bought this large roll of paper which I've almost finished using. It's currently so almost finished, and I've been keeping it just crunched up in the corner. Wait. So this is how it looks like. Well, currently it looks like this. It used to be very thick, and there used to be a lot of it. I'm pretty sure it was about 60 something meters, and it was like 40 something pounds. I'll leave a link for that one in the description. This one was from Amazon, and it came very quickly, and it was great. So last thing I wanted to say, which is the last thing on the making, is the mannequin. Now, I would advise you guys, if you can and you can afford it, to get a mannequin, because this will help you so much with draping. It would help you so much when you're making things and you have no one around you, so you need to put it on someone, and it's so much easier to see it on something else than yourself if you're trying to put it on yourself. And even if it's something that's not your size, then you should have a mannequin that is for the size of clothes that you're going to be planning on making. So let me just show you guys my mannequin. I'm pretty sure I've showed it to you before. So here is my beautiful mannequin. Her name is Sophia. She does tend to have all my projects in there at once. So this is just things I'm currently working on. This is a uni project. If I could just move things out, if you guys could see. I got her from the Facebook market, which is quite odd. I don't even know how I found that, but that's how she looks like. She is made of this material, what's this called? I forgot. Styrofoam, is that what that's called? She's covered with 2 layers of fabric, and underneath she's made of that. So I know we're not supposed to do this, but I just shove my pins on there and I just keep using it, and I'll keep using her as long as she stays well. And well, I've already kind of broken part of her, but it's okay. As long as she stays well and she does her job, I will keep using her. Another thing I want to mention is the sorry about that. Another thing I want to mention for you guys is the drawing materials. So that would be a whole video in itself to explain one by one what I use and what I don't use. But I'm just going to show you guys my drawer and what I have here for you guys to see. So this is my desk. As you guys can see, it's very full. It has things here and there. And I have here all of my pens. So this is different types of pens that I use when I am drawing, and obviously it's up to you how much you want to buy and what you need. I only bought things as I needed it for different projects, so I didn't spend a ton of money in one go, and kind of like what I needed, I just bought what I needed, I bought. So who knows how much money is in here already. But I tend to use Winsor & Newton brush markers. These are very useful for these are alcohol markers, and they work very well. I really like the tips of these ones. And Winsor & Newton has something which is like a pro marker. Oh, I can't close it with one hand. They have like pro markers which have a different type of tip. I don't like it as much because it's not a brush tip. It's kind of pointy. But yeah, they have different varieties. Obviously, you guys, you would need some sort of coloring in tools, drawing tools, and so on. If you do any type of embroidery, then you guys would need to have something to keep it in, and obviously I have a bit too much which I'm not currently using. So that's about it for that one. And then on the next drawer, if we can open it, I have my dyeing dyeing powders, and I have, well, alpaca hair, but that's not essential. These are just things that you might need to use if you want to dye things yourself, if you want to. Here I have my watercolors. These are very useful. These are also Winsor & Newton, and they have been working like a charm. They're about like £40 as well to buy, and it comes with so many different colors. I don't know, let me just pick it up for you guys. So these ones I just use, and I keep using, and I have had it for like 3 to 4 years now, so they're very, very good. and I just use them when I'm doing my illustrations. I just kind of tend to do kind of mixed media when I'm doing illustrations. I use watercolors for these. I use Copic markers for that. Well, not Copic markers because I can't afford that, guys. But markers, watercolors, pens, so on. You will need obviously papers, and you need sketchbooks, and you need all kinds of things to be able to draw on. But this video is mostly about the original thing, which was the pattern cutting materials. As I said before, you guys will need anything you can get basically in terms of drawing. I have different pens that I use. This is like fine liners that I use when I'm doing illustrations and designs. You will most likely need to get Photoshop and Illustrator if you're going to make any sort of CAD what's it called, technical drawings, because nowadays everything is done on the computer, so that's something you guys will probably need to invest in. And last thing I want to mention is the books. Okay, so last thing I want to mention is the books. Now, most of the books I own are fashion illustration books, because this is something that I really want to work on and I always try to develop and I really struggle with. Also because I get most of my pattern cutting books from uni and I would just borrow them and I'll give them back, because obviously I would try to save as much money as possible, and buying those books is very expensive. Each book costs about 30 to 40 pounds, even 50 or 60, which is a lot. So just get the basics and like what you find that's going to be useful in the beginning. So 3 of these are fashion design books, and this one is a draping book, which teaches me how to drape different things, and also it kind of gives you some help on how to draft patterns and so on, and it explains how to make different garments. Now obviously this is just a basic of how you can make this type of garment and that type of garment, and it's very helpful because if you want to make something which is a variation of that garment, then you can see, oh, this is how the basics is done and this is how I want to make my own. So for example, if I wanted to make this skirt, I could just come in here and kind of see, okay, this is how they did it, this is how they draped it, and so on. And at the end, I'm pretty sure they give you, is that it? I'm pretty sure they usually give you like, see, this is like the flats of them and how they would look like. So from here, you guys can see what you need. They give you measurements and they give you much more. So this book is very useful even for trousers and so on. It's very good even for jackets. I really loved it for jackets. So this is a very good book. I would recommend you guys get this book for draping understanding. Then this is a fashion design illustration book. These ones have benefits to their own, like each one is different and good for their own reasons. Like this one, I really like the style of illustration and how they explain how to do each thing. Also the explanation of how they, I think it was this one or was the other one, they show how to draw things for kids and how the anatomy works and how to draw different things, and literally they touch upon every single type of piece of clothing that you can even think of. Good thing I really like about it is the poses, because I really struggle still with drawing different poses, so this is very useful to get an idea of how to draw the body. And even they even show you like how to draw a pregnant woman and so on, how to do action poses, how to draw feet, how to draw hands, to draw your head. So this one is very good. Most of them try to do the same thing, so that's for this one. This is very good. I'll also leave the links in the description for these books. This one is the complete book of fashion illustration. That's what the name of the book is. This one is very good at showing how to compose different figures together, which is something I was really in love with. So it kind of shows me how I can put different figures in one place and how can I show them, because it also gives me a lot of examples here, which is very, very useful when I'm trying to do my final sketches like this. I really like this. It also shows how to draw everything from men to women to kids, but I really like it for the purpose of the way they show the figures and how they place them in relation to each other. So that's that one. And then the last one, which is the one I've had for the longest, is this one. This one also teaches you how to do both the poses and the drawings. This one's very good because it shows you various different styles of designing. So it not only shows you like one of the other ones just has one specific style and it just draws everything in that one specific style. This one has different things, so it really helps you to see what you're into, and then you can even apply that in your own work. So as you can see, this is like different people, they gathered illustrations from different artists and they just put them together. It also teaches you how to put together a sketchbook and how to put together a what's it called, a portfolio and so on. So this is very, very good. And one thing I like about this book, which doesn't have on the other ones, is it talks about patterns a lot here and how they can be used and how you can illustrate patterns. So I find that very, very helpful. Also, something very good, it kind of gives you a lineup and an idea of how lineups should look like, which is very, very good. So that is about it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and leave a comment down below if you have any questions and there's anything you guys want to know. I will answer it for you guys. As I said, links to everything I mentioned would be in the description, and I will make sure that I do the best for you guys in the future. If you guys have anything that you want to know, any more books that you think I should try out, and any books that I would suggest for other purposes, I can help you guys with it as well, because I have some fashion business books as well. So if you guys are interested, I will do videos on those as well. And that's about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, and support the channel. Thank you so much, and I hope you guys have a beautiful day. Bye guys!